Hey guys, before we begin, I want to talk about the results of the poll I posted a while back. Now, I asked you guys what new carnivore you think needs to make an appearance in a future film, and a pretty impressive majority of you voted for the Giganotosaurus. Honestly, I had a feeling it would win, but I had no idea that it would be by such a huge margin. I'll say that personally, I was hoping to get a Eutyrannus in a future film, but I can understand the appeal that the Giga has for most of you. There are some rumors that it could be making an appearance in Fallen Kingdom, but we haven't really gotten any physical proof of its existence just yet. But if we do get some sort of reveal for the dinosaur soon, how would you like to see it utilized in the new film? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Interested to hear what you all have to say. Now, I've talked about a lot of deleted scenes for the franchise before on this channel in the past, and it seems that most of them were actually pretty important moments that unfortunately got cut from the final film. In fact, to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever seen a deleted scene for any of the Jurassic Park films that I think shouldn't have been included in the movie itself, with the gigantic exception of Jurassic World. The reason I bring this up is due to the subject that we'll be covering today. It's a small bit of excluded dialogue that actually did get filmed for The Lost World during its production in 1996. And while it's not action-packed or having anything to do with dinosaurs, I will say that it's another cut that I really wish had been left in the movie. Before Roland returns to the camp, we were supposed to get a small moment where Ian Malcolm would hold Kelly and tell her how important she was to him. Malcolm would tell her that he would never let anything happen to her out here and that he'd do anything for her. Kelly would ask if Malcolm really meant that and would of course get reassurance from her father, which leads to Kelly asking him to go ahead and marry Sarah. Of course, this wouldn't be a request that Ian was anticipating. Going off of his character in the first film, he tells us that he's occasionally married, and that he's always on the lookout for a future ex, Miss Malcolm. We also find out that Kelly is one of the 3 children he mentioned having in Jurassic Park, a daughter who obviously feels neglected in some regard to her dad never really being present in her daily life. Now, Ian's relationship with Sarah is crucial to understanding the development that The Lost World explores within Malcolm as a person. Hammond mentions early on in the movie that Sarah actually sought Ian out after the incident from Nublar injured his leg, leaving him in a Costa Rican hospital for weeks, and that she went all the way to a different country just to find out if the rumors were true about dinosaurs being brought back to life by a genetics company. Their relationship is entirely built on his bad experiences from the first movie, which eventually culminates in his reluctant expedition to Isla Sorna, where his extremely impulsive girlfriend has left to study on her own. This gives The Lost World its cynical and sarcastic distinctions from that of its predecessor, in a film where Sarah Harding gets to experience the animals similar to the way that Alan Grant and we as audience members did in the first movie, while the always logical Malcolm returns with a clear and darkly comical understanding of why being here is a bad idea. Kelly would elaborate on her request and say that nothing could ever have made him come to the island and that Sarah was the only thing that mattered to him that much to make the journey all the way out there. Ian would look at his daughter and try to think of a response, but would unfortunately be interrupted once Sarah opens the tent and asks if the two had enough room for one more. Kelly would sarcastically tell Sarah to ask her father. Ian would say, "Sure, of course," and tell Kelly to stop thinking and get some rest, before he leaves to go look around the camp one last time before going to bed. Sarah was supposed to catch a huge grin on Kelly's face and ask if she's alright, and Kelly would tell us that now she's great. This scene was supposed to take place right before Malcolm and Ajay get up to go meet Roland, who'd returned with a few hunters after their search for Dieter. Now, the entire deleted scene featuring Kelly asking her father this question was supposed to play out right before the male Tyrannosaur would make its way to the hunter's camp, by smelling the blood of its infant on Sarah's jacket. While this is already an extremely tense scene, I can't help but think of how much more intense it would have been if the small character moment with this family played out right before the Rex showed up. As an audience, we would already be aware of how dark and really unforgiving The Lost World can be to the people that have made their way to the island. And witnessing Malcolm's daughter and girlfriend being put in extreme danger right after they'd had that conversation could really have made that scene even scarier than it already is. You gotta imagine how massive of a reality check that would be for Ian Malcolm, a guy who'd finally been given the opportunity to settle down and make a normal life with someone who believed every word about his crazy experiences in Jurassic Park, and getting to make a life better for his neglected daughter as well, only to have this big T-Rex head force its way into the tent, where God knows what it was doing to his family. Like I said, Lost World is a very sarcastic, cynical, and really really vicious movie when compared with all of its siblings in the franchise. While I already love that scene, I can imagine that it was designed to be far more frightening. In retrospect, I don't really think the film needed this small bit of dialogue included, but I have to admit that I would have been welcome to its inclusion if it were present in the final version. I don't know why so many scenes got cut out of The Lost World, and every time I learn about a new one, it kind of makes me wonder what the movie would have been like if nothing was cut out. I don't think it's a movie that was really ruined by the cuts that they made, as I think I've made it pretty clear that I really love the second movie. But I will say that having more of these character building scenes would have been a plus for it in the long run, in my humble opinion. Now, with all of that being said, I want to know what you guys think of this small portion of deleted dialogue, and whether or not you think that Ian actually went through with it and married Sarah Harding. I know that in Fallen Kingdom we've yet to see any indication of that being the case, but there is a precedent for this event being discussed with the characters in the past, meaning it is somewhat of a possibility. I think he may have married Sarah personally, but I'm not so sure if it would have worked. Malcolm may be a changed man in The Lost World and even Fallen Kingdom, but I don't know if he's made that big of a change. Now before I go, I want to take the time to thank my game wardens, including the newest member, Auraya Frost, as well as my InGen executives. I'd also like to take the time to thank all of my park workers and engine hunters. Sam Warrior and John Bryant, I really appreciate the support that you guys have shown to pledging to my Patreon, and I think it's awesome to have so many great people help me build this channel bigger and better than ever. And with that being said, I want to take the time to thank you all for watching this video, and I hope that you all enjoyed today's content. If you feel like I deserve it, I would appreciate the like, and I hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.